to Newsmakers. I'm your host, Lisa Oligas. In this edition, we learn about Dress to Impress, an effort to supply business attire to Missouri Southern State University students for free. It's a joint project of MSSU Career Services and the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce Young Professionals Network. We begin our conversation with Alex Gandy, Director of Career Services at MSSU. Alex, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa.
So how long has this event been going on?
This has been going on for 8 years, and we are on our 9th year this year.
That's exciting. So tell us about the main mission of Dress to Impress. I mean, why was this event created?
Absolutely. So 8 to 9 years ago, the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce had a work group called the Building Future Leaders Work Group, and we identified at Missouri Southern, like, how can we equip and empower students to transition from the classroom to their career, and one of the ways that we could help them is in professional clothing. We looked at other models of other partnerships from other chambers of commerces to other universities, and some people have a closet model, but we knew just with the impact that we wanted to have on campus, we thought, what about a one-day kind of pop-up shop of like a department store? And ultimately the mission is to help a student feel confident in what they wear. We know when we walk into a job interview, we want to portray confidence, not only in what we are saying verbally, but also what we're wearing, and what better way to do that than through professional clothes.
It's very nerve-wracking anyway to go to
Absolutely,
a job interview.
absolutely. So we all know the phrase, when you look good, you feel good. And we want to make sure our students, as they apply for internships and part-time jobs and full-time jobs, that they look and feel good for those opportunities.
How many students typically take part in this event?
So we have a 3-year rolling average right now of about 390, 400 students. So it's and it's grown every single year. And that's why we're incredibly thankful for our community supporters. Whether that is someone from around the 4 states from 15 miles away to right next door, we get donations from all over, and we need a lot of clothes.
You bet.
Because there's no limit to how many clothes a student can take. When they come in to Dress to Impress, we want them to see, if they see an item that they like, we want them to take it.
And you need to have all different shapes and sizes. So you never know. I mean, one donation might fit one person, but it might not suit another.
Absolutely. So there's no stereotypes. Like, really, if you look at that bell curve, right, of sizing, we need everything, because we have, whether that's a basketball player or a football player or a petite young woman, and everything in between. And so if you're a community member who's thinking about donating, don't hesitate. And again, regardless of what type of clothes you donate, we want something professional, but your style could actually be very applicable to someone here at Missouri Southern.
How many items are typically given away?
Oh man, so we typically see somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000 articles of clothing given away. And that could be shoes, ties, accessories, shirts, blouses, blazers, but over typically 2,500 to 3,000 articles of clothing.
Wow. All right, so we have some, we saw some items that you showed us, and we have some models here to demonstrate kind of the looks that we want to describe here, and the kind of the do's and don'ts. So
absolutely.
Looking at our student models here,
Yeah.
Tell us what we're doing right, what we might be doing wrong.
Well, thanks to Kayla and McKenna for being our models today. McKenna on the left is wearing a really nice matching blazer and pants set. And so this is something that when we are coaching students to go into a job interview, we want them to dress for the part and to dress professionally. And then if you look at Kayla is just wearing something that she would be wearing typically to go to class, whether that is a sweater and some jeans and some shoes. Again, that's casual attire. And what our employers are expecting when a student walks in or an alumni walks into that job interview is something professional.
You might think she's totally on trend. Torn jeans, really cool. But that's not necessarily what's going to be acceptable in an office workspace.
Absolutely. And again, regardless of industry, again, we know that maybe within a certain work environment, that style may change. But typically, especially in an interview process, I would say the clothing expectations go more conservative. And then once you've established a reputation within a workplace, you can then start showing a little bit more style or more trend. But definitely the trendier clothes right now wouldn't be expected in a job interview setting or even your first day or first month.
Right. So let's talk about where people can take the donations and where are you going to be setting this all up?
Absolutely. So we are collecting all of our clothes here at Missouri Southern State University. You can take those right to Hearns Hall, room 308, from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. We're incredibly flexible. Even if you have a lot of different clothes, we'll come right to your car and we'll bring a cart. And then we set up our event in Billingsley Student Center Ballroom. So we take the entire ballroom and we turn it into a department store. If you were to walk in, you would think you were walking into a Macy's or a JCPenney. We have a shoes section, we have an accessories section, a men's and a women's. And so we want students to feel that the event is incredibly convenient and also has a wide depth and variety of clothing options.
And you have volunteers on hand who help advise the students, right?
Absolutely. We want this to not only just be a clothing giveaway opportunity, but a coaching and mentoring opportunity. And so as students come in, they are greeted by community volunteers. We have some fantastic partners from Liberty Utilities, Freeman Health System, and a lot of other organizations who want to help students feel prepared and empowered to feel confident for their transition from Missouri Southern. And so those volunteers are available to help coach students on what those expectations are in the workplace.
All right, so donations are needed now. Drop them off at Hearns Hall, 308. What's the deadline that you need those donations so you can set up the shop?
Friday, March 3rd.
Okay, Friday, March 3rd. Clean out those closets.
Yes, ma'am.
Gently
yes,
used
ma'am.
clothes.
We need all the clothes possible. Every article of clothing counts.
So let's talk about that. So pants, suit coats, it can be a full suit, but it could be just a blazer.
Partials, absolutely. So we really need everything from top to bottom is like what we kind of like to say. So whether that is accessories, necklaces, bracelets, earrings.
Ties.
But of course, shirts, blazers, pants, dresses, even for the men, polo shirts. So when we coach young men who are entering the workforce, they typically may enter into a field like construction management or manufacturing or engineering, or maybe they're not going to wear a shirt and tie every single day, but a polo shirt could definitely help. And so then even shoes, all different types of shoes, accessories like scarves or purses or handbags, those are also welcome.
It's amazing how many students today might not have ever bought a pair of dress shoes.
Yeah, and they really...
And they don't have them, so they have
Yes.
tennis shoes, and it may not really look like they're dressing for a job interview.
And I think all of us typically have an expectation of what those cost, but when a student enters the workforce and maybe they want to go get 3 to 5 different professional outfits, they don't necessarily comprehend the cost and that investment that they're making. And this is a fantastic opportunity for a professional to give back to the next generation to help equip their wardrobe for their career.
This is free. You also do something in the fall, right, where you partner with a store
We
to have
do.
a dress
Yes,
go shopping night,
Yes.
and they get some discounts.
Absolutely. So we highlight and we partner JCPenney. So they have it's called Suit Up with JCPenney, and students can get a 60% off discount.
That's pretty amazing.
It is awesome. And so we really try and have 2 different variations. So say someone wants to have the retail experience in the fall, we partner with JCPenney. But say someone wants to have maybe more of a mentoring, coaching, and actually a lot more of an affordable experience.
For
We
sure.
have Dress to Impress in the spring.
Lots of options for the students, and they all need to take advantage of this.
Absolutely.
Want to look their best. All right, thanks, Alex Gandy, for all you're doing to help the students. When we come back, we will be joined by Jordan Bollinger, Business and Community Development Manager of Liberty Utilities and a member of the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce. We'll talk about the importance of first impressions when job hunting in the business community and beyond. As we go to break, another look at details of how you can help this year's Dress to Impress event. Welcome back to Newsmakers. Dress to Impress takes place March 8th, and donations are being collected now. The event is designed to give students appropriate attire for interviews and possibly their first jobs. Jordan Bollinger is joining us to share the business world perspective. Thank you for being here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
How important is it to make that first impression?
Extremely important. You know, that first impression says a lot, and a lot of times that's all we really get is that first impression. So to be at your highest level is very, very important in that time.
So how does business attire contribute to that? I mean, you know, we hate to judge a book by its cover, but is really that what happens when you're at a job interview?
Absolutely, and I love that you pointed that out because I think it's something personally that I think with judgment. However, you know, I know personally for me, whenever I am dressed for the, for the task at hand, or maybe even above the task at hand, it helps me to be confident in that moment. And I think a job interview is where you should have your highest confidence.
They often say dress for success. If you want to be successful, you dress like you are successful. Is that part of it as well?
Absolutely. And you know, when I first started my career, I will never forget somebody told me to dress for the job that I wanted. And so I've always held that close.
So why is it important to dress nicely for a job interview, even if the actual job may not require, like maybe it has a uniform or you have dress down for like work in the field? Why would the job interview still be a time to maybe dress up a little more?
Sure. So to me, you know, what I take away from that, when somebody walks in and they sit down and they look their best, I know that they have the ability to do that. I know that they take how they look as an important step. And as employees, we are all a walking billboard for the company that we represent. So again, I think that showing up dressed to impress, if you will, really sets the stage.
Are there other things students should know about when they're coming into a job interview besides their clothing? Maybe how they sit, how they engage, and greet someone like yourself?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Show up, and number one, be yourself, right? That's the main thing. But also, sometimes we have to play a little bit of a role. There's a saying, fake it till you make it. Sometimes maybe that is what it takes. Sometimes maybe you do have to push yourself out of that comfort zone to make sure that you are making an impression. It's also going to push you to grow, and it's going to show that you have that growth there.
Does neatness tell them something about you as a person as well?
Absolutely. The way that we present ourselves says a lot. It says that we take pride, and if we take pride in ourselves, more than likely we're going to take pride in that position and take pride in the company that we work for, which is overall a positive and something that we're looking for.
I mean, you don't want to go in with a wrinkled shirt. And if you took the time, does it show that you also took the time and cared about the interview, that, made sure I was well ironed, Does that tell something to the person who's interviewing you, doing the hiring, as to how seriously they take the interview?
Sure, yeah, it speaks to me that they want this position, that they're putting that best foot forward because they want to be here.
So have you been involved in Dress to Impress in the past?
I have, yes, absolutely. So I have played a role as being a donator. I have played the role as making sure that companies knew, so social media, and making sure that that word got out. And then I have been able to sort the clothing, which, wow, I mean, it blows me away to see the stuff that's brought in, stuff that even I wanted on my bucket list. But then also to interact with the students when they come in and to see just how amazed they are at the selection. Our community is amazing, and it shows how we step up.
Why is it important for folks like yourself to volunteer, to kind of give guidance to the students? What kind of questions do the students have?
Well, they're our future, and I think that we all need to make sure that we are doing our best to, whether it be mentor them, help them, line a path for them. So this is one small way that you can make an impact in the future.
Are there certain traits that might come out, or character traits that are expressed in how someone might dress, or at least dress for that interview?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And I think that's a valid point. We talk about not judging a book by its cover. We talk about showing your best, and we talk about being yourself. You do want to show a little bit of who you really are. That's not to say to do anything really eccentric, kind of like what we showed earlier is the not to do, but absolutely show a little bit of yourself. Give a little bit of personality in there. Gives that person doing the interview a little bit of an inkling into who you are.
What would you say you're looking for when somebody walks in the door?
Oh my goodness. Obviously that first impression, how they're dressed, but eye contact. Are they smiling? Do they look nervous? Are they excited to be here? Do they reach out to shake my hand? Those are the few small things that really make an impact.
When the students are coming in, what kind of advice would you give them as to how to pick clothing that maybe works for them?
Sure. So the biggest thing is to be comfortable, right? Because if I pick out something that I think will impress the person I sit down to, if I'm uncomfortable, they're going to read that all over. So definitely push yourself a little bit. Make sure that you look nice, but make sure that you're in something comfortable that you can be yourself in.
Because some women may be okay in a dress, but others like, I really just want to wear slacks. I feel more comfortable that way. So that's okay. Just kind of making sure the outfit fits well.
Yeah,
is that
absolutely.
important? Is fit important too?
I think fit's important. There are so many things to take into consideration, but I think at the heart of it is when you put this on, how does it make you feel? And do you feel like you can conquer what you're getting ready to walk into? And if so, that's the outfit for you.
Sounds great. All right, Jordan, thank you for joining us today and for sharing the business perspective on why it's important to, dress for the job.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Still ahead on Newsmakers, students share the benefits of having access to business clothes through Dress to Impress. As we go to break, a look at the numbers of how Dress to Impress has helped students over the years.
How many times do you get to make a first impression? points. One time.
Beverly Block teaches the business communication class at Missouri Southern State University, and she makes Dress to Impress part of her curriculum.
The community donates clothing, jewelry, shoes, belts, like I said, ties, anything that is professional. Part of our class is talking about the job search. So we talk about resumes, letters of application, references, thank you letters. So when we start talking about the interviews, we start talking about how do you need to look for an interview. Many of our college students don't have interviewing clothing.
So Career Services offers Dress to Impress with help from the Young Professionals Network. Volunteers guide students in putting outfits together.
You want to look at the job that you're interviewing for and dress one step up.
Block explains to her students the idea of dressing a step above what's expected in attire for the job you're hoping to get.
A tie maybe and a jacket, whereas in some interviews you wouldn't want to use those, but you just want to make sure that you make a good impression. I even talked to them about the importance of their shoes, that if their shoes look scuffed up and not clean and polished, that they may be judged on that, whether it be fairly or not. That may give the impression that this person doesn't take care of themselves. Why would they do a better job for me if they can't take care of their own appearance?
Welcome back to Newsmakers. Dress to Impress outfits students with professional clothing. Joining us to explain how that can make a big difference are MSSU senior McKenna Loftus and junior Kayla Short. Ladies, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So, as a student, what would you say is currently the bulk of your wardrobe?
I feel like for me, the bulk of my wardrobe is a lot of just like jeans, graphic tees, tennis shoes, you know, just comfortable clothing to go to class in and that kind of thing.
Kayla, you?
Yeah, just t-shirts, really. That's all I got. And leggings.
And your jeans, and we have the torn jeans, which
The
are very
torn-
trendy.
The
You're right on
ripped
trend.
jeans.
Ripped
Tons
jeans.
of ripped jeans.
Okay. So, what is the biggest challenge to having business attire, would you say?
I feel like the biggest challenge is definitely like the affordability and the cost. Business clothes are really expensive, so it's nice to be able to have this to go and get free clothing. And also for me, it's difficult because I'm short. So I feel like I spend more money on clothing that is like altered and fits me like it's supposed to.
So you've been to Dress to Impress before, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us about that experience. You've gone several times?
Yes, this will be my third Dress to Impress. And last year, actually, I was so excited because I found a pair of pants that were in a short and they actually fit. I was so excited.
A petite.
Yes.
There you are. So, and then what else, did you take home from there?
I also took home a really nice blazer, some tops. I think I took home a pair of shoes, just lots of different things.
How does that make a difference then when you might be interviewing for an internship or even just working in an office on campus?
It makes me feel more confident for sure, because whenever you look and feel the part, I feel like it just makes you more comfortable in that kind of setting.
So you've not had a chance to go to this, Kayla. What are you looking forward to when it comes to Dress to Impress? What are you looking for to find there too?
I'm looking forward to just like seeing the different options, and like McKenna said, like it gets expensive to buy nice like business clothes because I feel like they should be of nice quality. So then it just gets really expensive really fast. So I'm excited to have options to look at that are affordable, free.
So you typically haven't bought business clothes yourself too much?
No, usually my mom buys them for me.
And it's one of those things where if you don't wear them all the time, it's hard to say, oh, I should invest in this.
Yeah, for sure.
You know. So when you've gone to the event, they say there's a little bit of mentoring going on. How did that help as well?
That was really helpful, having someone there to be able to like kind of style me and tell me a little bit more of like what's going to look good together, what's going to look good on me, and just having that just really made me feel more comfortable.
Kayla, do you feel like you need something like that when it comes to what should I wear?
Yeah, I feel like putting together business casual, like just business outfits in general is harder for me. Like I get like a stumbling block of like what is professional and like what looks good together when it is considered professional. So that would be helpful.
And is it nice not to have to worry about the wardrobe aspect of it when you are going to a job interview? I mean, are you worried about other things, say, when you're going to a job interview?
I am. So I don't need my clothes to be just another thing I'm worried about because there's already a lot to be stressed out and like thinking about, because you're thinking about like, what am I going to say? What if I don't have answers to questions? And so like your outfit isn't something that you need to be worried about on top of that. So,
What are some of the things you worry about when you go to a job interview?
Not only what I'm going to wear, but what I'm going to say. And so kind of having the clothing portion taken care of is just one less thing to stress and worry about. And you can focus more on interview questions and practicing and that kind of thing.
What would you say to folks who might be watching about what they should donate? What kind of things that you need and you would be looking for?
Everything, honestly, whether it's a blazer or a nice shirt or slacks or shoes, even accessories like jewelry and that kind of thing is just really beneficial.
I mean, a watch that might be more of a jewelry kind of watch. I mean, a lot of people have Fitbits or, iWatches, but that's not necessarily, doesn't look like jewelry. What other things would you say to folks to, hey, please donate?
I'd say like for me personally, pants and shoes that are business and professional, like that's where I struggle the most, is with just pants that are appropriate for professional settings.
Yeah. So talk about when you go to something like this. I mean, do you have a certain color scheme you would be looking for? Does it help to get guidance on that as well?
It definitely helps to get a lot of guidance on that, because for me, whenever I think of business, professional, or casual clothing, I think of like black and white and gray. But I do like to have like a little bit of pop of color. So like to be able to have someone kind of help me with that and like how to make color look professional is really helpful.
They always say red's a power color.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you want to do in your career.
So I am an HR major and I'm hoping to do something within human resources. Obviously, I'm really looking at the recruiting side of things and hiring and that kind of thing. So that's what I'm most interested in.
So this could actually help you in your future career in learning
Yes.
how to actually look at what folks wear. I mean,
Yes.
because you might be interviewing folks.
Of course, because first impressions are very, very important.
And why so? And why do you think it's, especially from a student perspective, as to making that first impression?
Well, like that's the first thing that they see, and so if you're looking sloppy or you look like you don't want to be here, people are going to think that you don't really want this job. You don't really want to be here. You're just here, So it's important to come in looking professional, be excited, and also like be comfortable. Because like for me, if I'm not comfortable, like I feel really nervous and that kind of thing.
So what's uncomfortable for you? Is it high heels or? Is it...
yes. I can't walk in heels. No way.
So for you, having a nice pair of dress flats would be
Yes.
really important.
Yes.
Anything else that you think, oh, I wouldn't be comfortable in that?
I don't know. I feel like some like material of pants is very like restricting. So like stretchy dress pants are what I love personally because I'm very comfortable in those.
Kayla's nodding. So what are some of the things that you would be looking for that, oh, I don't feel comfortable wearing this or that and need help? Are you a dress person?
I do like dresses, but that's mostly just because I think it's easier. But I love dresses. That's like my go-to professional. So in the winter, it's not, But I agree with the pants thing. Like, comfortable pants are important because, like, if your pants aren't comfortable, then, like, the whole day's thrown off.
And then if you were into dresses, you want to make sure it's the right kind of dress.
Yeah, and it can't be too short. I feel like that's a big problem with dresses is they're, like, often too short. And that's just not good either because then you're pulling at it the whole time and then you look not put together. So that's important too, is like the length of the dress.
Do either of you own an iron? Is that a concern? Like if you had a cotton blouse?
So I have like a steamer that I use. It's not
Same.
necessarily an iron, but
I have a
that.
Yeah. But I mean, do you think that is something in your generation of people not really worrying about wrinkles or things like that? Is that important to you to, make sure it's looking sharp?
I usually do try to make sure that it doesn't have wrinkles, whether that's using the steamer or I might throw it in the dryer for a couple of minutes, but definitely getting those wrinkles out I feel like is important.
What does it mean to you to have the community donate these things?
Oh my gosh, having the community support through this is just a lot. And working with career services, I get to meet a lot of the people that donate, and they're all so nice and so kind and just go out of their way to come and donate the clothes to us. And so just getting to interact with them, I really enjoy.
What do you think?
And the people that we have like gone and gotten the clothes from are all just like excited, and they seem invested in our futures, which is good because like we are the future of this community, and they're excited to see us go on, and they want us to succeed.
Talk about some of the accessories you get into the office donated and why those are important as well.
So we have a lot of like earrings or shoes or necklaces, and having those accessories to go along can really kind of make or break an outfit, honestly, I feel, because you can really dress it up and kind of make more of a statement with your accessories, whether it's a subtle statement or anything like that. But I feel like those are really important as well.
I mean, even, did you get a few purses? Can
We
that
do
be
get
helpful?
purses, yes, absolutely.
I mean, I don't even know if you carry a purse. I know a lot of college students have their ID or a little bitty small, clutch, and that may not be something that you would take to a job interview.
I feel like it depends on the scenario. Usually if I'm wearing something that doesn't have pockets, I will carry a purse with me just so I can have my hands free.
So overall, how do you think this helps you when you're going to a job interview, internship? I mean, you mentioned confidence. What difference do you think that makes in when you're there?
I feel like confidence is kind of key in a way. If you don't have confidence, like it's going to show that you don't have confidence. And I feel like that can really make or break an interview.
Is there prep work you do for interviews?
Yes, I usually go through a bunch of different interview questions and kind of prepare myself for how I would answer this question or scenario.
Any other tips you have for students who might be going through a job interview, that things they could do to prepare besides outfits?
I do think confidence is important, because if it doesn't seem like you believe what you're saying, then no one else is going to believe what you're saying either. And the interview questions, I do go online and like practice those a lot.
Another thing you can do is you can actually do a mock interview with career services.
So they're giving you clothes and they're giving you the practice.
Yes.
Great stuff. All right, so let's remind everybody of the event is March 8th, but the donations are needed now, and you guys are where in Hearns Hall?
We are located in Hearns Hall, room 308.
Okay, donate now through March 3rd. All right, thank you, ladies, both of you, for joining us today and sharing your thoughts on the matter.
Thank you.
Well, one final reminder, the drop-off deadline for those gently used professional clothes and accessories is Friday, March 3rd. Take those to Hearns Hall, room 308 on the MSSU campus. That wraps up this edition of Newsmakers. I'm Lisa Oligas. Thanks for watching.